This week, I am going to be sharing with you a partial list of principles that make up a healthy relationship. I know this can be really confusing for people. What are red flags, green flags, healthy relationship, unhealthy relationship? How do I know what's what? How do I know who's in front of me? It can be really difficult, especially if there is a history of challenging relationships, betrayal, being let down, and so many other experiences. Firstly, welcome back if you have been here before my channel. Give this a like, let me know that you are here. If you're brand new here, welcome. I'm Carly Ann. I'm a holistic attachment coach and founder of Follow Your Fire, which is your online membership for all things attachment styles and rediscovering yourself, which is what it takes to heal attachment wounds. At the moment, I have been working on a masterclass, which I'm delivering the 1st of June, 2022. So sharing this list seemed like a really good next best step. It was coming up for me as I was really looking into this masterclass of reclaiming healthy love, how to hold down a secure relationship when you have an insecure attachment style. And yeah, I've been looking a lot at this list that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I wanted to bring this onto my channel because I think it's really important just to go through it. I know that there's lots of other factors to think about and to take into consideration when you're dating and when you're in a relationship. But I think just to have these there, at least as a guide to take this in, that might help you when it comes to choosing a secure relationship, holding down a secure relationship, and making choices that make you feel good, that support that insecure side and enhance your secure attachment style, which you do have inside. Everyone does. I work with people with insecure attachment styles, as you know, and this means that they relate to the way that they relate to relationships is a challenge for them. It means that the template that they have for relationships is a result of their earlier relationships, and often they experienced many or one like key attachment wound. And it's really common that people with an insecure attachment will pick people who are unable to co-create a healthy dynamic, a secure relationship with you. That means to be able to regulate yourself, themselves together. Because remembering, relationships for my clients or the people who are going to be inside this masterclass on the 1st of June, that are inside my membership, relationships are a trigger for them. And when you're triggered, you often don't show up as your most secure self. And you also don't make the wisest choices for yourself in those moments. So you will ignore red flags. You will make something that is unhealthy healthy. You'll justify things. So you can use this list to guide you in choosing a partner that's right for you, becoming a great partner yourself, to yourself and to someone else, and also for showing you where you need to do some healing, where you need to do the work, if you like. So as always, I always say this as I go through this list. If you don't relate to it right now, or it makes you think of something that you did or didn't do in previous relationships or current relationships, don't judge yourself. Be curious, join the membership, and let us support you in becoming secure. Okay, let's dive into this list. I'm going to share it with you so that you can see, and I'm going to read it from my screen because as you'll see, there's quite a few there. So we have mutual respect and love, including your needs, your boundaries, their needs, their boundaries, and who are each of you as a person, to be able to respect that, to be able to hold space for that, to appreciate it and love each other for that, to have full acceptance. Nobody wants to be changed. Nobody wants to be judged. You don't want that. You don't want someone to come in and say, hey, you're not doing enough, you're not enough, I prefer this, I prefer that. So can you have full acceptance for this person and who they are? Now, this doesn't mean in any way to stick around in a situation that is harming you. And it also doesn't mean that you can't grow together and have amazing amazing conversations about that growth in your relationship. So you can desire change and you can work together with that. But the truth is, if this person is not shifting, if this person is not changing, and you cannot fully accept it, then the idea will be that you will grow apart naturally. That will be the natural outcome. But going against something constantly and trying to change someone, it can really make for a difficult, challenging dynamic. There is a healthy you, me, and we. This means that you know where you end and your partner begins. This means that you can appreciate the space apart. This means that you can have independence whilst also relying on your partner and knowing that balance to be yourself, to let them be them, and then you have the relationship together. To be able to express yourselves without aggression or scaring or criticizing is really, really key. For you to be able to express yourself and also to listen and for you to receive this as well. This is really, really key. This is a two-way street, everything that we're talking about. So often when it comes to expressing yourself or receiving love, if there's an insecure attachment, it's often that you will communicate or express yourself in a very indirect way. And that can look like criticizing or withdrawing or being passive aggressive and not really saying what you mean or what you want to say. So being able to adopt that skill is life-changing when it comes to having a healthier, more secure relationship. Love exists in space and time apart. Love doesn't know distance, and you get to respect the need for you both to be around other people, to have lives apart as well. It really grows there to allow space to miss each other, to allow the love to still exist when you're not together. Although you might not be together physically, are you still able to feel the love and know that it's there without you assuming that you're being forgotten about, without you assuming that this means something negative? You have a good balance of self-regulating and co-regulating. That is that you are able to soothe yourself. Perhaps when you become triggered, that you're first able to check in with your inner experience and then decide how you're going to communicate that out into the world, out to this other person. That's when you might co-regulate. That's when you might need to then express yourself. But how you express yourself is going to be completely different if you've had that space for self-regulating. Because we can do, especially co-regulating, that can be really unhealthy when you're trying to get them to make you feel better, to soothe you, which often we do when there's an insecure attachment. But if you can ask to have that conversation or have that support, to be met, to be held from a place where you've done that initial soothing yourself, is going to be really beautiful. You have a healthy internal working model. So you know your sense of self, or you're working on your sense of self, and this is a priority for you. So do you know who you are? Do you know yourself outside of this person and know your worth? Do you know how you need to be looked after and what your needs are and who you are as an individual person? In a healthy relationship, you really see two people who have this knowing about themselves, and it can really, really set up an amazing experience for two people when you know yourselves as individuals and then you can come together. So before we go on and I give you the next list, there's more for you to take notes on, so hopefully you've got a journal. Then I just want to take a moment and ask you, if you've got a second, to please just subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe, hit the like on this video, because YouTube loves it. And it means that we might get this video to the people who are just like you and me, that are also feeling stuck in this pattern. So if you are getting anything from this list, or just from me having this interaction with you, then it means that someone else might as well. Someone else might feel that support. Someone else has that chance of also having a secure relationship in their lifetime. So please subscribe and like this channel. Okay, so on with the list. Your ability to repair after rupture and to go as far as a contingency plan. So let me explain. Relationships have difficulties, challenges, and conflict. And the ability to come back from that, to communicate through that, to hold space for each other through that is really, really key. And the contingency plan is when it's not working. Can you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, that didn't work. We still have this problem. It's not about the fact that there has to be no conflict and no ruptures and no triggers, but how are you repairing this? It's really key to be able to come back, have that comeback. The comeback is just as important. You do have a basic trust for each other. You're able to feel safe and respected, honored, and also this is reflected in your behaviors. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything. It doesn't mean you have to be on the same page and have the same opinion about everything, but can you respect those differences? Can you still move on despite those differences? Can you love each other? Although there are these differences, the feeling safe to know that you can express yourself and be yourself is magical, and you always deserved that. To not have to hide your opinions and who you are and what you like and what you don't like out of a fear of losing someone. In a secure dynamic, you're allowed those differences. They exist. It's healthy. You can go to each other with insecurities and concerns without feeling like you might get in trouble, dismissed, or hurt the other. So you can have these vulnerable discussions. You can express your anxious thoughts. And again, it is about how we communicate this, as it is about how we deliver it to someone, but that you're both in this container where you're able to say, I'm making up this story. I have this fear. I saw this thing and now I'm worried, without being criticized or told that you're crazy or that you're, have a go at them because you don't trust them, without losing that sense of peace that you can still have. It doesn't mean you're going to be it's going to be perfect and that you're not going to trigger each other at all, but there isn't that fear that there's going to be no repair. You're able to strike a balance between compromise and sacrifice without it leaning heavily one way or anyone feeling unheard, because there are going to be times in a relationship where perhaps you step up in a way that you don't necessarily want to, but your partner needs that support, or vice versa. But like I say, that's why it's really key to say it's not heavily leaning one way. And it's just sometimes. And for the most part, it's compromise over sacrifice. There may be sometimes we have to give something up because something else is more important, and we know that. But ultimately, you don't want to be seeing that repeatedly, because that's when that then leads to resentment. If it's like the odd time and we can really understand and it's a conscious decision and we have that love and support and the ability or the space to be able to talk about that with our partner, then you're probably going to feel heard. But if that's not happening and you're constantly sacrificing, it's going to lead to some internal upset, and that comes out somehow. And you can be fully yourself without fear of judgment and being shamed. That is your quirks. That's your shadow side. That's the worst side that we talk about, that sometimes is going to come out and be on show in a relationship. And that's very healthy and it's very normal. And are you met without judgment and being shamed. The odd occasion, it might lead to what feels like some shame, but usually we get stuck in that shame cycle when, again, there's no repair from that. When we don't have that space to come back, to have that communication, but mostly to just feel like you can be yourself, all parts of you. You are self-soothing, you're self-regulating. So hopefully you've got a hold on those shadow sides and the triggering sides and how that impacts your partner. But from time to time, just to know that, okay, yeah, I've shown this side of me and they're still here and they love me fully and I'm whole. It's really, really powerful and it's unique and you deserve this. So that's just a partial list that I wanted to go through. I wanted to give some background to and explain a little bit for you. If you're not seeing any of them at all, then of course, this is your space to think about why that is. If you don't have relationships that really look like any of that, or if you just like, I just don't know. I don't know when it's compromise and when it's sacrifice. I don't know when I'm bending my boundaries or how not to. I don't know if they're showing me love or if we're putting in the same effort. To be able to have a conscious relationship, it really involves having that conscious, secure relationship with yourself. So like I say, the masterclass inside my membership on the 1st of June, how to hold down a secure relationship when you have an insecure attachment style, it's going to be really powerful for you. If you're watching this before the 1st of June, come inside my membership, or you can buy yourself a single ticket. But you can come inside my membership for £17.50 at the moment, at this current time. And I'd love to see you there. If you're watching this after the 1st of June, the replay is inside my membership. That's the only place you can get the replay. You can get your hands on that immediately. And yeah, click the link, come and see us. You've got a whole community waiting for you. Do not forget, you're enough, you are lovable, you are so, so worthy, and you are irreplaceable.